Welcome to the Explainer. Look, today we have one very specific goal, and that is transitioning you from just casually chatting with AI to actually engineering professional high-tier outputs. So if your AI results have been feeling a bit, well, generic lately, you are absolutely in the right place. Let's dive right in.
2 billion. That is a massive number. According to a recent Cortex report, that's the staggering number of people interacting with AI tools right now. Global adoption has literally exploded. We're talking everyone from middle school students all the way up to Fortune 500 executives.
But, this brings up a highly critical question. With 2 billion people logging in, how many are actually extracting professional, top-tier results? Honestly, the reality is kind of frustrating. Pretty much everyone is using the exact same AI tools, the same foundational models, the exact same chat interfaces, but only a tiny fraction of users actually get high-quality professional outputs. The difference? Well, it doesn't lie in the tool itself. It lies entirely in how the user communicates with it.
So here is our roadmap to fix that today. First, we'll cover the universal skill. Then, understanding large language models, followed by how AI processes prompts. After that, we'll hit the perfect prompt formula, and finally, we'll look at good versus bad prompts. Let's get moving.
Starting off with Section 1, the universal skill. We really need to completely shift how we view prompt engineering.
We have got to stop viewing prompt engineering as this niche, highly technical coding requirement. It's actually a universal skill, very much like learning basic human language. Think about it this way. A baby simply cries for food, right? It's raw, it's unstructured, and it forces the parent to just guess what they want. And honestly, that is exactly what most people sound like when they type vague prompts into ChatGPT. On the flip side, a professional closing a corporate business deal uses precise, intentional language to guarantee a specific outcome. To get those professional AI results, you have to upgrade from the crying baby approach to the corporate professional.
Now, to communicate better, we really need to know who, or actually scratch that, what we are talking to. Let's move to Section 2, Understanding Large Language Models.
You probably hear the acronym LLM thrown around constantly these days. But let's remember what a large language model actually is at its absolute core. It's an advanced AI, basically a pattern recognition engine that's been trained on massive datasets. We're talking books, articles, and millions of websites, just to process and generate human language. It has digested so much information that it gives us this incredible illusion that it actually understands us. But we have to remember what it isn't.
And here is the fundamental paradigm shift you have to make. LLMs do not think like humans, period. They have no intuition, they have no feelings, and they make zero conscious decisions. When you ask an AI to build a website, it isn't sitting there pondering creative possibilities. It is literally just calculating. So, if it isn't actually thinking, what on earth is it doing? Let's dive into Section 3, how AI processes prompts, and look at the exact mechanics of what happens the very millisecond you hit enter.
Let's walk through this exact step-by-step sequence. Step 1, user input. You type out your prompt. Step 2, the AI instantly breaks your sentence down into what are called tokens. Step 3 is where the magic really happens. It performs a massive pattern analysis, rapidly comparing your tokens against those billions of texts it was trained on. And finally, Step 4, the predicted response. It calculates the most statistically probable next word based entirely on the context you provided. Again, it isn't reasoning with you. It is essentially playing the world's most advanced, high-speed game of fill-in-the-blank.
Now, I just mentioned tokens. You can kind of think of tokens as the basic currency of AI. A token might be a whole word, part of a word, or even just punctuation. You see, the AI can't digest massive paragraphs all at once, so it chops your input into these tiny manageable little chunks, tokens, to process the data. And then it spits out its response in the exact same way.
This leads us directly to the context window. This is essentially the AI's maximum memory limit. So if the AI has an 8,000 token limit, it can remember roughly 6,000 words of your current chat. Keep going past that limit, and it simply starts forgetting. It's like a conveyor belt of memory. As new words come in on one side, the oldest words fall right off the back.
Okay, so now that we know AI relies entirely on tokens, statistical predictions, and context windows, we can move to Section 4, the perfect prompt formula. This is the exact formula that controls those predictions to get you exactly what you want.
Here are the 4 building blocks of the perfect prompt formula: role, style, tone, and context.
If you only type the context, like, say, write an article, you are leaving the role, style, and tone entirely up to the AI to just guess. And remember our crying baby analogy earlier? We do not want the AI guessing. Let's break these 4 down.
The very first step is assigning a role. You absolutely must define the persona the AI should adopt. If you want code, don't just ask for code. Start your prompt with, think you are a senior web developer. If you want an article, tell it to act as a professional copywriter. Giving the AI a defined role forces it to pull from the most expert, high-level data patterns associated with that specific profession, rather than just handing you a generic, average answer.
Next up is style. This defines the exact format or method of the response. Just like setting this genre for a movie script, is it an action or a thriller? You get to dictate the style here. You could ask for a storytelling style with simple examples, a bulleted list, or even a strict academic format. Doing this gives your output immediate, usable structure.
The third block is tone. This defines the emotional quality or the personality of the response. Now, we know AI doesn't feel emotions, but it certainly knows the statistical patterns of them. If you set the tone to sad and melancholic for a quarterly earnings report, well, you're going to get a very weird dramatic spreadsheet. Setting the right tone, like asking it to write in an encouraging and motivational tone, completely alters the entire flavor of the output.
All right, let's move to our final section. Good versus bad prompts. We're going to see how applying this 4-part formula completely transforms real-world results. Let's look at a few examples.
A prime example of a bad prompt is simply typing, write an essay. What is the topic? Who is it for? How long is it? The AI has literally no idea, so it just guesses. Now consider a good prompt. Write a 300-word essay for high school students explaining climate change effects using simple language. See the difference? This is highly specific. It outlines the exact length, the target audience, the context, and the style. The difference in the output quality here will be absolute night and day.
Here is a development scenario for you. A bad prompt is simply, build me a website. Think about it. You would never walk up to a human developer, say, build me a website, and just walk away. They'd think you lost your mind. They need your specific niche, your page counts, brand colors, dynamic features, the whole shebang. If a human needs project specs to do a good job, the AI absolutely needs them too.
So, let's bring the entire perfect prompt formula together into one single, powerful command. You are a professional content writer. Write a friendly, motivating LinkedIn post about how learning AI skills in 2025 can change your career. Do you see how it layers? Professional content writer is your role. Friendly and motivating sets the tone. A LinkedIn post dictates the style, and the rest, that's your context. By combining all 4 of these, you take absolute control over the AI's statistical predictions.
Which brings us to a final question, a real challenge for you to take away from this explainer today. Will you apply the role, style, tone, context formula to your very next AI interaction? These tools are incredibly powerful, for sure, but really only if you know how to drive them. It's time to stop the vague casual chatting. There's a saying going around right now, AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to effectively prompt an AI just might. So what does this all mean for you? Which one will you be in your next interaction? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Now go out there and test this formula out.